It's a stain on our 20th century history. More than 75 years ago, our nation decided it was necessary to uproot tens of thousands of Japanese Americans and put them in camps during World War II. More than 13,000 of those Americans were sent to a wooden barracked camp outside of Minidoka, Idaho. Beginning Saturday, a traveling exhibit showcasing the stories, pictures, and personal items of those who were held in such camps will open at the Idaho State Museum. Photojournalist Kevin Esslinger got a peek inside today and gives us a glimpse of righting a wrong.
This story is an Idaho story, but it's also a national story, and I think it really shows us as part of a big picture of American history.
We are standing in our newest traveling exhibit, Righting a Wrong, Japanese Americans in World War II.
When the war broke out, the prominent Japanese were picked up within 24, 48 hours.
After Pearl Harbor in 1941, our president created Executive Order 9066, which forcibly removed Japanese Americans from the western states into war relocation camps. It's a really powerful exhibit. It tells a story of Japanese Americans incarcerated during World War II. We actually have the traveling exhibit here, and we also have a local component exhibit that we've worked with Minidoka National Historic Site. So we have panels and artifacts from Minidoka that tell that local Idaho story as well. I think in this exhibit you will really see how harsh life was as an incarceree, but you'll also see the hope for the future on display as well through some of the artifacts. There's a very moving needlepoint on display that actually shows the landscape that you saw every day while incarcerated, and I think that speaks to that community that they were forming and the hobbies they had even within the walls of the camp.
The art piece you see behind me was actually made for a pilgrimage back to Minidoka by a former inmate there in 2004. The paper on the umbrella was tattered to kind of represent the hardship of everyday life at Minidoka, whereas the cranes, on the other hand, represent the hope. So kind of that juxtaposition between a very difficult life and the hope and human spirit.
When they said that the FBI is going to come search the house, well, my grandfather, he says, well, we got to get rid of everything Japanese.
There are some oral histories within our interactive displays as well. So there's 2 touchscreen kiosks from the Smithsonian. We also have some very powerful graphics. We have one that shows every name that was incarcerated in Minidoka. It's nearly 12,000 names on display. It's the role of the museum to really tell these stories and to make sure our visitors hear it from a trusted source as a museum, that there was parts of history that may be uncomfortable to talk about, but we give you the resources, we present that story, and you can walk away knowing more about our past.
It's amazing. Righting a Wrong, Japanese Americans in World War II, will be on display at the Idaho State Museum beginning Saturday, as I mentioned, and it's going to run through April 5th.